Welcome or welcome back to Authentically ADHD with me, Carmen, the podcast where we talk about ADHD, autism, AuDHD, executive dysfunction, nervous systems, and why being a capable adult sometimes still involves searching the house for the phone that's currently playing this podcast. Hint, check your pocket, check the fridge, check outside. You never know where you left it. I'm Carmen, and today we're talking about losing things when they leave our immediate awareness. Objects, appointments, messages, plans, and sometimes even entire friendships. Yes, humans. And this is not because we have stopped caring or something. This is not because the person suddenly ceased to exist in our emotional universe, and not because we have the memory capacity of a decorative pillow. Although, to be fair, the throw pillow has never forgotten where it put its keys. So, somewhere along the way, the internet started calling this an object permanence problem. And I totally understand why, because I say it all the time. If it's out of sight, it's out of my mind. If I cannot see the bananas, I apparently live in a banana free world or household until I discover a small ecosystem behind the cereal. If I put an important document somewhere, quote unquote, safe, that document has entered a federal witness protection program. And if I try to find it, it's probably going to take forever. If I do not see a friend regularly, I may still love them with the intensity of 1,000 suns while failing to text them for 4 months. Hey, Becca, what's going on? Do you listen to this podcast? Do you listen to my podcast? If so, shoot me a text that we haven't talked in a minute. Yes, I have a best friend that we sometimes go for months without talking, but once we get back together, it's great. Now, let me explain. This is not object permanence, at least not usually. It is more accurately connected to context-dependent recall, perspective memory, attention, and working memory interference, which is less catchy, admittedly. It's a lot. It's a mouthful instead of just object permanence. But nobody is saying, sorry, I disappeared. My prospective memory failed to retrieve the delayed intention after contextual cue displacement. Although I might start saying that, might make funny conversation. But today we're going to name the experience, explain the brain behind it, remove the shame, and build practical systems that do not rely on your working memory suddenly developing a strong work ethic, because she has reviewed the job description and respectfully declined. So let's name the experience. Picture this. Like, close your eyes if you're not driving or doing anything that you need your eyes for. But picture this. You are cleaning the kitchen. You notice the trash is full and think, I need to take that out. Then you see a cup on the counter. While carrying the cup to the sink, you notice that there's a package and it needs to be returned. The package reminds you need to print a label for it, so you walk towards the printer. Your phone buzzes. The message reminds you of an appointment. You open the calendar and discover you have another appointment you forgot to confirm. 20 minutes later, you're standing in your bedroom holding one sock and researching whether raccoons remember human faces. The trash is still full. The cup's still on the counter. The package expires tomorrow. And somewhere in your home, the printer is laughing at you. We call this out of sight, out of mind. But that phrase can make it sound like something stops mattering when we can't see it. And that's not what's happening. It's just not. The intention still exists. The relationship still matters. The information may still be stored in the brain. The problem is that the brain is not bringing it back into awareness at the moment when we need it. There's a difference between not caring and not retrieving. And that difference matters. especially in relationships. I can go weeks without contacting someone and still think of them as one of my best friends. The emotional connection has not disappeared. My brain simply does not generate the automatic notification saying, "Hello, this person you love so deeply has not received proof of life for you from you since April, and it is now almost August." My AuDHD relationships sometimes operate like browser tabs. The tab's still open, though the relationship hasn't been deleted. But 17 other tabs started playing audio. One froze, another wants me to accept cookies, and I cannot figure out which one contains the person that I meant to text. This is not an absence of love, okay? It's an access problem. Let's talk about why it's not object permanence, okay? Because I'm an early childhood educator, and object permanence is understanding that something continues to exist even when it cannot currently be seen. I'm going to say that one more time, and I'm going to repeat this part of it because object permanence is something that a baby learns around 6 to 8 months old. And it's literally the understanding that something, an item, continues to exist even when it cannot currently be seen. So their pacifier still exists even though you put it under a baby blanket. Or the paperwork that I put in the drawer still exists, but I can't find it because I put it away. An AuDHD adult does not usually believe that their friend literally vanishes from existence after leaving the room. We know Sarah still exists. We know the keys still exist. We know the unpaid bill still exists. Unfortunately, the bill also knows it exists, and it will eventually send a late fee as proof. The problem is not understanding that something exists. The problem is retrieving the right information without the object, location, feeling, conversation, or cue that originally activated it. That is a memory retrieval issue. That's an executive functioning issue. It's not a brain development issue that we didn't develop a skill at 8 months old. The language matters because the explanation shapes the solution. If we think the answer is simply just keep everything visible, we may end up covering every available surface with quote unquote important objects. Now, nothing is hidden, but the house resembles the clearance aisles of a haunted craft store. Visibility can help, but too much visibility becomes visual noise. Eventually, the sticky note that was supposed to save your life becomes part of the wallpaper. And I've mentioned this before. This is why I do not use sticky notes unless I'm putting it in the middle of my computer screen, in the middle of a mirror, or somewhere I'm going to see it very obviously, because otherwise it just becomes part of my environment. So this whole like out of sight, out of mind thing doesn't really work because the sticky note stays in my sight, but it still goes out of my mind because it becomes part of the environment. Let's talk about the brain behind it without making it all complicated. There's context-dependent recall. Memory is connected to context. Your environment, emotions, location, sensory details, and current activity can all become part of how a memory is retrieved. That is why you can walk into another room and immediately forget what you were there to do. Then you return to the original room and sometimes or suddenly just remember. The doorway did not erase your memory. The context changed. You remembered the batteries while standing near the empty device in the open drawer. Then you walked into the bedroom where your brain encountered laundry, a charger, a water bottle, and a mysterious shirt that you have not seen since 2022. And the battery thought lost the competition for awareness. This happens with people too. A song, a smell, location, photograph, or a shared joke can suddenly bring someone back into your awareness with full emotional intensity. But the relationship was not erased before that moment. The retrieval cue was simply not active. Prospective memory means remembering to do something in the future, take medication later, call the doctor tomorrow, bring the paperwork to work, text your friend after the meeting, move the laundry before it develops squatter's rights. Prospective memory requires your brain to hold an intention while gathering and doing other things. Notice the correct moment to act. Stop the current task, switch activities, and complete the plan. That is not one simple memory task. It's an executive function relay race. Time-based intentions can be especially difficult. At 2:30, send the email. Your brain has to monitor time internally and generate the reminder. Event-based intentions provide a cue. When I pour my coffee, I will take my medication. The environment helps trigger the action. That is why an appointment sitting quietly inside your calendar may do absolutely nothing. A calendar entry is stored information. It is not necessarily a retrieval cue. Now, if you pair that calendar entry with a reminder that shows up maybe a day or two before, and then again 3 hours before, and then again an hour before, that might become an actual retrieval cue. But a calendar without alerts is sometimes just a scrapbook for future disappointments and shame. Then there's working memory interference. Working memory is the brain's temporary workspace. It helps to hold a phone number long enough to type it, remember why you entered a room, follow several verbal steps, or keep your thought while another person is speaking. Working memory is not a permanent storage vault. It's a whiteboard. You write, take package to the car. Then another thought writes, where's my coffee? Then a noise writes, what was that dog? Then an emotion writes, remember that humiliating thing from 7th grade? Then someone asks you a question, and now the whiteboard says, dog, coffee, shame, possibly something about a package? The intention was not necessarily erased. It was crowded out by competing information, stress, fatigue, sensory overload, pain, transitions, emotions, and interruptions can shrink that mental workspace even further. The task did not become less important. Your available bandwidth became smaller. All right, let's remove the shame without ignoring the impact. Forgetting to respond does not automatically make you selfish. Losing an object does not mean you're irresponsible. And missing a plan doesn't mean or prove that you do not care. Struggling with prospective memory does not make you lazy. But intentions and impact are not the same thing. You have a valid neurological explanation. And still, you can repair the harm. So you can say, I didn't forget because you're unimportant. My brain lost access to the intention. I also understand that this has affected you, and I want to build a better system. That is accountability without self-destruction. Shame says, I forgot because I'm fundamentally defective. Accountability says, my current system did not protect this commitment. Shame attacks your identity. Accountability investigates the environment. One leaves you crying beside an unopened pile of mail, and the other moves the mail beside the coffee maker because caffeine is apparently the only reliable executive function department in the building. Your brain deserves compassion. The people affected by your forgetfulness also deserve care. Both things can be true at the same time. So, now that we've talked about all the reasons why and that we have taken the shame out of it, let's talk about 5 tips that actually freaking work. 1, capture the intention immediately. Do not trust yourself to write it down later. Later is where intentions go to die. When you think, I need to remember this, capture it before changing rooms, opening another app, or allowing the universe to introduce a fresh side quest. Create the alarm, put it in the calendar, send yourself a text, place the item by the door. Do not whisper to yourself, oh, I'll remember. That sentence has ruined more lives than tequila in the neurodivergent world, okay? Okay? External reminders are not cheating, especially because when I wear glasses, it's not cheating because my eyes should be trying harder, okay? External memory systems are accessibility tools, so please use them shamelessly, but also only use the ones that work. If you use too many, none of them will work. I'm just letting you know. The next one is turn time-based tasks into event-based tasks. This is kind of like habit stacking. So instead of saying like, I'll take my medication at like 8 p.m. or 8 a.m., whatever it is, pair it with when I pour my coffee, I will take my medication and make sure that your medication bottle is near the coffee machine. Instead of, I need to call the doctor later, try when I'm going to sit in my car after work. I will call right after I start the engine. Now, these work for some people, but not so much for others. Some people also need a reminder attached to it. It all depends on your neurodiverse brain. So please take what works and leave what doesn't. Create a clear formula. When this happens, I'll do that. Choose an event that already happens reliably. Coffee, brushing your teeth, opening your laptop, plugging in your phone. When I wake peacefully after 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep is not a reliable cue because that's just a fantasy. Okay, let's jump out of that. Number 3, put the reminder where the action actually happens. A reminder is most useful when it appears at the moment that you can still act. A sticky note on the bathroom mirror saying return the package may be visible, but you cannot return the package from the bathroom. Try putting it in the middle of the inside of your windshield. Unless your bathroom is a UPS store, in which case, congratulations on your entrepreneurship skills. Put the package by the front door. Put the medication beside the coffee mug. Place paperwork on top of your shoes. Put the library book in the driver's seat. Make the environment hand the task back to you. This is why I literally get everything ready the night before work. I make sure my bags are packed, my lunch is packed, my clothes are out, my gym shoes are out for my workout the next day. I wear my workout clothes to bed. Because this way, it just really helps the environment to hand the task back to you. Give important objects one boring home. Not a clever home, not a temporary home, not a home you invented while cleaning at midnight. A boring, predictable home. Keys go in one bowl. Medication goes in one station. Documents go in one tray. Chargers go in one basket. Things used together should live together. If putting something away requires opening 3 containers, walking upstairs, entering a password, and completing a blood oath, it will live on the floor. Aim for contained visibility, clear bins, open baskets, labels, and defined landing zones. Not 43 loose objects spread across the counter like an archaeological excavation of your week. All right? Last but certainly not least, support your relationships with cues. Relationships do not have to entirely depend on spontaneous recall. That does not make them fake, it makes them supported. Keep a short list of people that you want to stay connected with. Add specific reminders like send Kelly a check-in task, ask my mom about her appointment, send Robert the article, spend a little one-on-one time with Tom. A reminder saying be social will be ignored because it's vague, emotionally loaded, and sounds like a threat. You can also tell trusted people, like, hey, my brain doesn't always initiate contact consistently, especially when my routines change. It's not a reflection of how much I care, so you are allowed to double text me. Or I sometimes read a message, mentally compose the response, and then accidentally file the imaginary reply as completed. So if I don't respond in a certain amount of time, please remind me. Because sometimes I answered you beautifully in my head. Your phone simply failed to receive the telepathic transmission. Technology is so behind. Then there is a 5-minute memory reset that I really love to use. Open a note and create 3 headings. Get a piece of paper, open notes on your phone, whatever. Create 3 headings: people, plans, and things. Under people, ask yourself, who have I been meaning to contact? Choose one person and send one sentence, not a memoir explaining your absence. Just, hey, I was thinking about you today. How are you? Under plans, ask yourself, what is happening in the next 3 days? Look at the calendar. Do not go based on your vibes. Okay. Look at your actual calendar. Maybe even check your email for those, appointment reminders that might be stuck in there. Set the reminders now. Next, under things, ask, what object am I searching for, returning, replacing, or forgetting to bring? Give it a home or put it directly in the path of action. One person, one plan, one object. You do not need to reconstruct your entire life after one every evening. That turns into a support tool into an unpaid administrative internship, okay? One thing at a time. And believe me, it may feel slow, but it all will get done. An AuDHD brain can remember humiliating sentence from 2009 with surround sound, subtitles, and director commentary, but then forget why we walked into the kitchen. It can love someone profoundly and still fail to initiate contact. It can understand that an object exists and still be unable to locate the object sitting directly in front of it. It can make a sincere plan and lose access to the intention when the context changes. Memory is not a moral system, and retrieval failure is not a personality defect. You are not selfish because your relationships need some external scaffolding. And you are not immature because your future intentions require alarms, baskets, visual prompts, repeated reminders, and occasionally placing an important document directly on top of your shoes. You are building bridges between your present self and your future self. Build them visibly, build them redundantly, and build them out of alarms, labels, routines, baskets, voice memos, and friends who know they are allowed to text you twice. And when the bridge collapses, do not stand in the wreckage screaming that you should have been able to fly. Just repair it, adjust it, add another support beam. Your brain did not forget the thing because it didn't matter. The present moment simply became louder than the thing you wanted to remember. So make the cue louder and make the action easier. And please stop calling yourself a terrible person because you put your keys in the freezer. They were probably beside the coffee creamer, okay? Honestly, that is almost a system. Once again, thank you so much for choosing to listen to Authentically ADHD. I know that you have tons of options of podcasts that you can listen to, and mine is not on the fancy side. So if this episode made you feel seen, mildly attacked, or inspired to retrieve the package sitting beside your door, share it with another beautifully chaotic brain. And remember, you are not broken. You are not failing at caring, and you are not required to hold your entire life inside your working memory as some kind of neurological circus. Externalize it, cue it, make it visible, and be kind to the version of you who may have forgotten. She was probably trying to remember 6 other things at the same time. Until next time, stay authentic, stay curious, and go check whether you left that drink in the microwave again, okay? We will talk soon.